As the winter season starts to enter Israel, we're still in this logic of Yosef Asadik and these and all the parshas that we've been building to this understanding. But one of the famous ideas is how Yosef Asadik refuses Potiphar's wife's seduction. And it's a phenomenal idea, because the Midrash goes into all these details about the seduction and the consistency of the attempts to seduce Yosef the Tzaddik, and how he had to resist her every day and every day and every day and every day. And many of the sages connect that level of seduction, because what was the seduction? It wasn't just Yosef the Tzaddik having relations with Potiphar's wife. It was the idea of Yosef Asadik giving away who he was, giving away his Yiddishkeit, giving away, the holiness in everything that made him who he was, and everything he was supposed to be. He was being seduced to give that away for instant gratification. And so you could connect that same idea to us. Anyone who's on the path of Torah, anyone who's on the path of greatness, the path of achieving your destiny, Rabbi Omer. It's not real. Yeah, and so the seduction wasn't just seduction of, or like anybody who's on the path of Torah, anyone who's on the path of greatness, the path to find out who they really are. We live in a physical world that convinces us to not appreciate who we are, to want to be a part of the collective, and to negate and suppress our individuality. And that process, comes through materialism, it comes through these ideas of statuses, and it comes through, the need to be superior to other people, all these things that take us away from the life force of Hashem. And we have to battle that every day. Every day we have to remind ourselves, like, this is who I am, and this is my purpose. And that's why we wake up in the morning, we wrap tefillin, and we daven, and we try to do our best. We learn Torah to stay in that consciousness so we can fight it. So Yosef Asadik battling against Potiphar's wife, and that seduction is the same seduction that we all deal with every day. So the sages say, like, what did Yosef Asadik do to be successful? And so the Midrash says that with the apex of the seduction, Yosef Asadik, his back is against the wall, and he was weakened by the consistency of the seduction. But what he did was that they said he turned around and he saw an image of his father in the mirror. And they said that Yosef looked very much like his father, and he saw an image of his father, and through that image of his father, it reminded him of his father, and it reminded him of his mother, and it reminded him of his grandfather Yitzhak. It reminded him of his great-grandfather, Abraham Avinu and Sarah Avinu, and the mission that they were on that came from Adam Rishon, and that image gave him strength. So on a simple level, a person reading the Midrash, they'll say, wow, there was like a hologram, there, and he saw this image in the mirror, and it reminded him. But the sages say it was even more profound than that. What it was is that Yosef Asadik, when he was being challenged, and he was being pushed against the wall, that he injected the image of his father. He injected it. He was like, it's almost like a person is running, and the next thing you know, they slip and they fall off of a cliff. But before they fall, they grab on to this branch, this tree, and they're holding on to this tree for dear life. And hopefully they could hold on long enough that someone would see that they're about to fall to the depths of this valley and die. But they're going to hold on because they believe that there's a chance that someone can save them. And so in the same way of a person who slips and falls on a cliff and wants to save their lives and holds on to a tree, that's what Yosef Asadik did by injecting the image of his father. And so, and if you go even a step further, it wasn't just the fact that he injected the image of his father and he saw his father, but and his father gave him this ability, but it was the fact that who he was supposed to become, and what his destiny was, and what he was supposed to achieve. And that idea gave him the strength to overcome probably the greatest challenge of his life, or one of the greatest challenges of his life. To the point, I think the sages, the mystical sages say, when Yosef Hasadik resisted Potiphar is when he became Yosef Hasadik. At that moment, he transformed. Some say when he forgave his brothers, but the point is just saying that, just as we go further, is for us to think about the things that are holy to us, the things that have impacted our lives, and think about how we can remind ourselves every day about who we are and what our destiny is. Because in the same way as Joseph had to fight the seduction inside of the house of Potiphar, when we leave the basementers, when we leave, the Beit Knesset, when we're out in the world and we're functioning, we're also inside Potiphar's house. And we're always being seduced every day to give away who we are and to not be who we're supposed to be. So using the strength of Yosef Hasadik, may we all have the courage and the confidence that even if our back is against the wall and we're so close to falling, that if we could find the things and remind ourselves of the things that are holy to us, that we could hold on to that branch, and then we could hold on to that branch or that tree and hold on long enough for Hashem to rise us and to save us and to allow us to achieve our destiny.
Shkoach.